We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
I have a bit of bitterness with like, I'm 22, and I was in the studio with a young artist that's being developed, and I was writing for her project, and I was having a freak out because I'm like, the Pussycat Dolls are coming back. The Pussycat Dolls are coming back. Oh my God, I'm so excited. The Pussycat Dolls are coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go to Vegas and see them in concert whenever it happens, blah, 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 blah. And she is in grade 12. And she looked at me and she was like, who? I was like, the Pussycat Dolls. And she was like, I don't know what that is.
Uh-huh.
And I felt this fire inside. And I turned into an old man on my front porch being like, this generation isn't going to know all of the good music. They're not going to appreciate Celine Dion and Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, like the Holy Trinity. What's their Holy Trinity? Billie Eilish? I can't get around this. So I'm just like trying to I'm like, is ABBA gonna disappear? I can't let that happen. So yeah, long and the short, to wrap it back around, I wanted to, take songs that were lyrically deep and kind of portray them in a totally different way. Yeah. And I think that I want to like kind of keep doing that. It's been fun to explore and kind of find songs where I can do that. And I think
what are some you're thinking of doing next? Like, what are on your mind?
I really want to do Strong Enough by Cher.
Okay. That would be good. That would be good.
Because it's like full on disco.
Yeah.
And I think if you like were to strip that back and just throw big gang harmonies on it, it would be really nice. I wanted to do, what else was I going to do? I had a thought about doing The Way I Am by Ingrid Michaelson, but I think that it's already kind of what it needs to be. It's already kind of stripped back. It's not like a big bop. So there's a few that I'm throwing around. To be honest, when I find the perfect one, I do it. So I don't think that I've found that, like, the aha moment that I had with Always Be My Baby and Lucky has not resurfaced yet.
Right.
Funny you said that, because I'm already thinking about the next EP for Beyond This Album. I'm starting recording it in July.
Okay.
And I was about to do My Heart Will Go On, but like a totally different version of it. And I had it all arranged. I had the guitar part done. And then I ended up repurposing it for an original song. Because I just thought that it was better. And I was like, oh, maybe I should take a little break from the covers. Who knows? It might still happen. So you heard it here first if it does.
Yeah.
But also part of me feels like blasphemous to take on Celine Dion, which in my opinion is the best singer of all time.
Well, okay, so this is the thing when you're covering any of the Holy Trinity, like Whitney or Celine or like Mariah or whatever, you can't attempt to do what they do. Like I don't know if you saw Shoshana's cover of Whitney in her car. She posted on her Instagram story.
Shoshana Bean? Yeah.
Yeah, so she did I Have Nothing, right? So if she were to go on a stage and like try and perform that in front of an audience, she would be kind of like competing with Whitney in a way. Like it would be like, so it's like hard to top that. Whereas if she's just there singing it in her car, it's like, there's something about it that's kind of cool, I don't know.
Exactly. I completely appreciate what you just said, because I knew when I picked the Mariah Carey song, I was like, if I'm going to take on Mariah Carey, it's not going to be in her field. I'm not going to walk into the battle ring trying to do Mariah, like, how egotistical of me to assume that I could do a song from one of the 3 best singers of all time. Like, if I'm going to try it, it needs to be a new song with the same melody and lyrics. Because if I heard my version, or if I heard myself sing Mariah Carey in the original style, I'd be like, that's really optimistic that you thought that you could try that, but please stop. It's just like, the best already exists. So why would I try to do 50% of that?
Don't even compete. Have you seen, one of my favorites is the, If You Believe, I think it is, by Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey as a duet together.
From The Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
And I will play it in the car, and I will turn my head for both parts, because when they get into the runs at the end, and Whitney does like her really short, like aggressive, angry ones, it's very like back and forth. And if I ever did drag, I would do that song so I could give the full fast back and forth of all of their runs back and forth, because it's really magical.
Can you imagine being Mariah Carey at that point in your career, and you're like, here you are, you've reached like the pinnacle, you're on a stage, with Whitney Houston doing a duet?
Yeah, well, it's kind of that duet is its own magical entity because it takes two of the Holy Trinity and puts them beside each other. Because we can all hypothesize who is the best of Celine, Mariah, and Whitney, and on a different day of the week, you'll have a different argument for any of them. But there was the VH1 Divas Live where Mariah and Celine were there together. And then there was When You Believe where Whitney and Mariah were together.
Right.
And you get to hear them back and forth. And there's moments of both of their voices in that song where I'm like, oh no, maybe it's Mariah. And then I'm like, oh no, maybe Whitney's the best. But what I will say is the VH1 Divas Live, they were all singing You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin's there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And Celine walks up and like sings circles around Aretha Franklin and is like doing runs up and over. And you see Mariah Carey in the back like real upset because she's like, I feel like I could do that too, but I chose not to disrespect Aretha Franklin. And Celine's there stealing the spotlight. And I think Mariah gave some sort of a pointed interview after that, being like, you don't do that to Aretha Franklin. It was one of the wildest moments.
Kind of classy in the way that she is.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that people listening to this, and I feel like they will, I feel like people who either know you or I are going to appreciate the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
But it truly is. I don't think there's going to be a generation that's going to have voices like those three women in their prime.
It doesn't come along very often. Especially now, like the way you produce music, like you really don't have to have an amazing voice to stand out.
Absolutely not. And like the great songs exist beyond amazing voices. I think that Into You by Ariana Grande is one of the best pop songs of all time because of the production. But her voice isn't outstanding on that recording. She has an outstanding recording voice, but it's not like a hugely vocal, agile song.
Right. She can do it. She can be vocally
she can.
Actually.
That's the thing. But that song didn't require it. It might have almost like cut it down if there was more of that.
Well, even like Seven Rings, which was like one of her biggest hits, right?
It's very like spoken and like anti-sung,
right?
Which for me kind of gets me because if I know you can, just like give it to me. You know what I mean? It's like give me some sort of a high note in there. Right. But who do you think is the Holy Trinity of this new generation vocally?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I don't think I've actually thought about it.
I have my opinions.
I think Billie Eilish has to be in there because there's just something she does with her voice.
Her vocal trinity, Andy.
I don't know. I think that thought about this.
Billie Eilish has a cool tone. And when I heard Ocean Eyes for the first time when she was 15, it blew my mind. I sent it to everyone. I was like, oh my God, listen to the tone of this young girl. But in my opinion, the perfect aspects of a voice are skill and agility, meaning like, can you do all the big runs? Can you do, I don't think Billie Eilish can do that. Power, which Billie Eilish certainly doesn't have because everything is
Adele.
whispered.
Can we say Adele is in there?
I will allow Adele to be considered for the Trinity, but again, I don't think that the agility is there. She has tone and power for days, but I don't think that the agility is there. If Adele had to do all of the runs that Celine and Mariah and Whitney were doing, I don't think that it would happen. So I think if we're talking about all three, I think that Tori Kelly and Jessie J
I was going to say
are there to be discussed. I think, I mean, it's tough because Jennifer Hudson could be there, but I don't think that Jennifer Hudson is necessarily an artist. I think that she's a singer. You know what I mean? I think Lady Gaga has power and tone. I don't think necessarily that the agility is there, but the tone is through the roof. So it's tough. I think that Tori Kelly and Jessie J can kind of like be the first two to be considered, but I don't think that they'll stand up to the last generation either. So it's, I feel very passionately about it.
I know, it's great. I mean, but these people, they don't come along very often. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's what makes them kind of special.
We were so blessed to have ultimately like the three greatest singers, and not only the greatest singers of all time, but they had hits. They had songs that like, and huge discographies that like really let them soar in their singing capability. It wasn't like they were this amazing background singer that didn't have their own artistic, stamp or voice or sound. All three of these women had such amazing discographies that were so personal to their taste.
These stories are beautiful.